Professor Davis, word of the week.
Good. I want to say two things about what Romney's been saying in this last couple of weeks of the campaign. One is he's going to take care of 100% of the people. Now, that's his way of trying to undo the damage from the 47% remark. But if you look at that and think about that pretty closely, it means that 1% are going to continue to be coddled and privileged, and their place in society and the economy is not at all going to change. Indeed, probably it's going to be enhanced by Romney's policies. Another thing that's related to this is tax cut he's got proposed, $5 trillion worth over the course of something like 10 years. He says that the elite, the wealthy, are still going to pay their share. That probably will be true, but they're going to pay a lot less in taxes overall from that 20% cut across the board. So I think, again, we've got to listen closely to what Romney's doing. There's a lot of deviousness there. He can't really afford to be that honest with the voters because it's not in the interest of the mainstream, his economic policies especially. That's my take.
Thank you very much, Professor.
You're welcome.
Kevin, talk to me.
Well, we're three quarters of the way through the debate game, and we see again after the third debate that we have a candidate, Romney, who disregards the rules of the game. He's disrespectful to the law. He's disrespectful to the moderator of the debate. He doesn't follow the rules of the debate. When you extrapolate that out into how this man behaves as a business owner and how he might behave as a president, I think this leads you to some additional insight into what type of president you'll get if you vote for Romney. Someone who, from what I see, is someone who disregards the law.
Dr. Theis, we're ready for that second instance in your series.
Okay, well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the war on terror. Over the last two presidential administrations, started under George Bush, continued under Obama, progressives should be bitterly disappointed. Progressives believe in the Constitution, and Article 1 specifically prohibits not giving people the rights, the
due process,
habeas corpus. In Article 3, it specifically requires all crimes be tried by jury. The First Amendment guarantees freedom of speech. The Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Eighth Amendment, all of these amendments that deal with the rights of the accused have been systematically violated in the war on terror. And as somebody that respects and loves the Constitution, the framers understood that to give these powers to government, the right to imprison somebody without charges, the right not to have a jury trial, the right not to confront, the ability not to confront your accusers, were fundamental violations of basic human liberties. And the U.S. government, through extraordinary rendition, torture, warrantless wiretapping, through House Resolution 347, the National Defense Authorization Act, have codified, and the Patriot Act, have codified these violations of basic civil liberties. That's why it is absolutely essential for anybody that's progressive to speak loud on behalf of Muslims who are innocently accused, to speak loud on behalf of inner city minorities that have become the target of the drug war, to speak loudly on behalf of all those that are oppressed by our government through the violations of these basic rights. And I want to read you a quote. This was written by Islamic clerics after 9/11. The undersigned leaders of Islamic movements are horrified by the events of Tuesday, 11 September 2001 in the United States, which resulted in massive killing, destruction, and attack on innocent lives. We express our deepest sympathies and sorrow. We condemn in the strongest terms the incidents which are against all humans and Islamic norms. This is grounded in the noble laws of Islam, which forbid all forms of attacks on innocence. God Almighty says in the Holy Quran, no bearer of burdens can bear the burden of another. The Islamic world was unified against the 9/11 attacks, and rather than using that support to go after the criminal terrorist Osama bin Laden, we instead declared a war on Islam and shredded the Constitution. And the shredding of that Constitution, while I may not be Islam and you may not be Muslim, the shredding of the Constitution will come back to haunt us. So I urge anybody to think very hard about what we have done to the basic liberties in our Constitution over the past decade.
Dr. Theis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Valerie, as usual, great to have you here. Now, Valerie, what you thought about women's issue finally making its view in the debate?
I was very happy to see that because I think there's a distinct difference between how the Democrats support women and the GOP does not. Even in the instance when the question was about gun control and automatic weapons, you know, Romney reverted to saying in his answer that men and women should be married before they have children. And in essence, that's saying that single mothers are the problem, and that's why we have gun violence. And I take offense to that. And I just thought I don't think there were any questions about women's issues in the first debate, which really bothered me because I believe this election has a lot to do with women's issues. It has to do with our freedom of choice, you know, and even access to contraception. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it's also the month that this is the last month, I think, that Texas is funding or sending any funds to
Planned Parenthood.
And that hurts women in poverty the most. When I was younger, and that's where I went to get my birth control, was Planned Parenthood, because it was affordable. Or it may have even been free, I can't remember. But I just think the attack on women doesn't get enough national coverage, and the GOP is just notorious for making fun of us.
What's interesting is that women are the largest part of our electorate, bar none.
That's true.
Mademoiselle Tara. Okay, Tara, what turned you on this week?
I like the third-party debates on the internet. Democracy Now!
Which debates did you watch?
The vice presidential ones and the presidential ones. Stein, the Green Party, the Justice Party, Libertarians. We also had the vice president Libertarian candidate came out to the school and spoke.
How was that?
I mean, I was glad that I got to hear his point of view, and he believed it. It's not. I don't think his ideas are good ideas, but I'm a mom, so coming from a mom perspective. But I mean, I think it's great that he came out to college and
well, they were part of the body politics, so I mean, it gave you a chance to see your choices.
Yeah, I want to hear as many people's opinions as possible, even if I don't, especially if I don't agree with them.
Going forward, do you feel positive about the country or negative about the country?
I feel like negative about it. I feel like it's not what it's supposed to be. I mean, I love our country, but I feel like we can do so much better. I feel like it's going backwards. And everything that I was taught as a kid, you know, I grew up in a military base for a while and did the Pledge of Allegiance. Moved to Michigan, I was like, why aren't we doing the Pledge of Allegiance?
Now let me ask you this then, is that why you do what you do out here, because you want to make a better country?
Yeah, because I know what it is, and my son's going to grow up. I don't want my son to die for another man's pride.
Thank you very much, Tara.